We have technologies within this office in Lafayette, Louisiana at the Nerve Health Institute where we utilize proprietary oxygen, water, and light methods to keep those three ingredients top in your body to the highest level, because that's our top three ingredients that we've been given. And when you keep those ingredients high, then the self-healing capacity of this machine stays really high and your body heals. All right, Dr. Chris here at the Nerve Health Institute, and I want to welcome you here today. We're doing this series now where we're chronicling injuries that are out there in athletes. And athletes, no matter whether they're college, they're pro, the higher level athletes even out there that have access to everything in terms of healthcare, they think they do, but they actually don't. And so they're walking around with undiagnosed weak nerves and don't know it. And they're still playing at a very, very high level because they're just capable of being. These elite athletes are amazing. They truly are neurologically amazing to watch because they just will their way through these injuries. And so we have a brain, we have a spinal cord. And again, for all the skeptics out there that are watching, okay, this is a new type of healthcare. It is new. It's not something you're going to read a ton of information on Google or anything else about. We are literally paving a way through healthcare, and I think it's just part of our Cajun background here. I mean, we're in South Louisiana. We are very resourceful people. It's almost like God gives you resources and you figure it out. Well, this is a self-healing machine generally that should self-heal. But what happens to it is it'll start to lose power for all these different stresses that are around us. And sometimes it auto recovers it and sometimes it doesn't. But your brain and your spinal cord, you have a total of 88 nerves that come off the brain and spinal cord, 44 pair. They start back here in the brain stem and they go all the way down. Try to visualize. I know in all these videos, I keep saying it over and over and over. Every millimeter section of every organ, every millimeter section of every bone, every millimeter section of every part of your skin, and every millimeter section of every muscle is wired through one of these 88 nerves and gets its power from the brain fiber optically. So you should go throughout your life having these nerves checked. I say this all the time, but your teeth, for instance, oh my goodness, we have so much emphasis. There's nothing against working on the teeth. Certainly there's major health issues that can happen there. But your nerves are infinitely more important than your teeth. And nobody teaches you how to get those checked. And you go throughout your entire life and you're just waiting for things to crumble. We see this all the time here in our practice through working on hundreds of thousands of patient visits, where patients just come in and they're fine one day and the next day they can't walk, or they can't talk, or they can't swallow, or they got a massive headache and can't function. Just literally go from being online, they think, to offline, or having 5 bars, they think, to having 2 bars. You know, they pick up that piece of paper on the ground and crash, and they can't walk. And so this is a breaker box. Okay, there's a brain, there's 88 nerves, 44 pair of nerves coming off of it, and these athletes have to maintain their nervous system. So, but none of them are, to be honest with you, just because none of the trainers, none of the medical personnel, they're just not trained in this capacity as we are. So this is Patrick Mahomes. Recently, in a perfect world, we would be working on this quarterback's brain, because you can imagine, oh my goodness, how many violent head shakes, you know, the brain hitting the ground, bam! I mean, whether it's from the front or the back. And these guys are taking some licks. I mean, lick after lick after lick. The quarterbacks in the NFL, you know, and they're not licks from like, you know, the quarterback may be, you know, 6'5", 240 pounds, a big guy, but he's getting hit by somebody potentially that's 300 pounds and 6'8", and coming like an ATV full speed and hitting them with a full force. It is extraordinarily violent. So this sport's awesome. I love it. But at the same time, you got to maintain your nervous system. So I have 2 boys and a girl, and my 2 boys play football. We're luckily maintaining their nervous system health throughout the course of their athletic career. And so nobody else is really doing that with their athletes out there, just because they don't know about the Nerve Health Institute and keeping their nerves healthy. So in Patrick Mahomes, look at how violent this collision is, okay? So I know I got to preface this before. His head, you saw how he was drawn into the ground, okay? And his head hit. So something you may not realize, and he doesn't realize, his athletic team, his coaches, his players don't realize this, but his nervous system, I guarantee you, did not have all 88 nerves working perfectly, because nobody out there in the world has that. So this particular day, I didn't see the beginning of the game and watch every little play and follow exactly every hit he took, but each one of those has implications. And sometimes the brain will just, bam, you get a shake to it, and then some of the 88 nerves lose power, and then they gain their power back. And we always talk about this. Think about a knockout, where somebody's knocked out on the field. Well, that brain lost so much power through those 88 nerves that it just shut down. And it's trying to auto reboot. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it takes a while for it to. And then even when it does, you go through that concussion protocol where you're just waiting for the nervous system to reboot and restore power through all 88 nerves. Well, sometimes you come out of that protocol and you still don't have all 88 nerves working, but the majority of them are working to where you think your symptoms are not there, so you think you're okay. And maybe you go through a few of those checks, but ultimately there are major nerves that get damaged, and if they're not repaired properly, the athlete just has a history. You can almost watch them play through these injuries, but not at 100% throughout their career. I mean, look, he can't get up. So he's trying to get up. Look at how wobbly he is. He's like, whoa, wait a second. Wait, like the legs won't even push up. The players are holding him up. His head's wobbling. His eyes, I guarantee, we can't really see him here, but his eyes, I promise you, aren't straight. Yet they're kind of dazed. He's got this look, okay? So you can see the violent hit here where that head goes straight down. He gets jarred into the ground. Bam! That's a big time hit. Okay, so I want you to think about it, all right? There's nerves that go to your eyes. We talked about this. They're back here. There's 3 different pair of nerves that provide power to the muscles in your eyes. And when you get this type of bam, conk injury where your head shakes, some of these nerves lose power. So he got up. I promise you, he's not seeing very well right now. He can't barely even move his eyes. He can't stand up. Another one of these pair of nerves here in the brainstem makes you balance in here. So that's another thing that gets weak a lot of times in these players with these types of injuries. Another one, and we didn't see this, but maybe he did it in the tent, is they vomit or they throw up. And there's a nerve back here that makes you swallow. It's called the glossopharyngeal nerve. It makes you swallow. And it's a pair of them. And so when that nerve loses power, it gets weak, it makes you actually vomit and throw up things because the peristalsis contractions aren't going downward anymore. And that nerve is kind of the gatekeeper at the top. So those are really common symptoms. A headache is one of the things that people get huge when they have these types of injuries. And there's nerves providing power to every millimeter section of all the bones, all the muscles in the face, all that stuff is wired. So you can imagine these nerves can lose power back here going around to the front. And it's just something these athletes just sit around. There's nobody, even at this level. This is the Kansas City Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl last year. And you would expect that somebody would be doing what we're doing, but there's nobody doing what we're doing on the sidelines. And at this level, which is, it's honestly something that I have to tell you about so that hopefully more people get trained in this capacity. They start to do what we're doing, and we get more people to get help, the help that they need, especially these athletes. Because, Mahomes plays today. Today's Sunday. He's going to get out on the playing field right now. And I guarantee you, if he was at my office right now, we could find a bunch of these 88 nerves where he was weak. And so this athlete is so superior, he's going to get on the field and he's going to mentally just work his way through all these weaknesses and compete at a very high level. And ultimately, sometimes what ends up happening is some of these weaknesses, nerve weaknesses, the undiagnosed nerve weaknesses they have, end up causing them a loss. And I'm not saying this is going to happen with Mahomes by any means. Please don't misinterpret me. But That's what ends up happening ultimately to these athletes is the weaknesses they have that they don't know about that are undiagnosed in these nerves end up causing a higher probability for injury, a higher probability for losing, a higher probability for not playing at your top-notch level where you want to be, and ultimately it decreases your pay at the end of the day, and for years, maybe you lose 2 or 3 years off of your playing time that you should have, just simply because nobody was actually managing the power in your nervous system. So I hope this helps, and I wish all the athletes out here, especially in football and all the other sports, good luck today. And stay tuned here. Subscribe to our channel. Remember, it's all about nerve health. That's what your body centers on. We have technologies within this office in Lafayette, Louisiana at the Nerve Health Institute, where we utilize proprietary oxygen, water, and light methods to keep those 3 ingredients top in your body to the highest level, because that's our top 3 ingredients that we've been given. And when you keep those ingredients high, then the self-healing capacity of this machine stays really high and your body heals. So I hope this helps. Stay tuned here, and we look forward to helping you.